that good, Justin?
Do we need to do anything else? Do we need to do anything else? Ready to go? Okay. Is hers loud enough? Okay. Usually do this once and this once and then do this and then this and then this again.
No, I do this once, then this once, and then this again. What's that?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought that's what we were going to do, is just do this once, and then do this at the end. One time. You can if you want to. Is that what you want to do? Is that okay?
here from somewhere.
It's a song in French that I translated in English, but I'm going to start in French. And I know some of you know French a little bit, so you understand.
But the translation will be in. Tell them the translation will be.
Yeah, the translation will be in English. This next song is Create in Me a Clean Heart, and I know everybody knows this song, so jump in. Create in me a clean heart, oh Elohim, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Create in me a clean heart, oh Elohim, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Do not cast me away from your presence, and do not take your set apart spirit from me. Restore in me the joy of your salvation, and uphold me by your generous spirit. Oh, create in me a clean heart, oh Elohim, your presence. And do not take your set apart spirit from me. Restore to me the joy of your salvation, and uphold me by your generous spirit. Oh, create in me a clean heart, O Elohim, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Oh, create in me a clean heart, O Elohim, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Do not cast me away from your presence, and do not take your apart spirit from me. Restore to me the joy of your salvation, and hold me by your generous spirit. Hallelujah. Praise Yahweh.
I don't remember what note you sing this in. Is that too low? Is that the right note?
This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Your food is presence living in me. This is my daily bread. This is my daily bread. Your very word spoken to me, and I'm desperate for you. And I'm lost without you. And I'm desperate for you. And I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you. This is the air I breathe. This is the air This is my daily bread. Your very word spoken to me, and I'm desperate for you, and I'm lost without you, and I'm desperate for you, and I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you. This is the air I breathe.
Hallelujah!
Praise Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. Hallelujah. Praise Yahweh.
It's 10:31. We started late, so we'll work it out. What? I have something sitting here before you put that down.
Sure.
I had a capo.
This
This isn't made out of leather, is it?
I don't know what that is.
This cover for this Bible, is that made out of leather?
No. No, this is scriptures. Nope. That would be. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Elohim, and the Word was Elohim. But the Word became flesh, the living Word. Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of Elohim. The word of Elohim. Devarim, Deuteronomy chapter 6. And this is the command, the laws and right rulings, which Yahweh, your mighty one, has commanded to teach you to do, and the land which you are passing over to possess, so that you fear Yahweh, your mighty one, to guard all his laws and his commands which I command you, and your son and your grandson, all the days of your life, that your days may be prolonged. And you shall hear, and you shall Shema, O Yisrael, and shall guard to do, that it might be well with you, and that you increase greatly, as Yahweh, Elohim of your fathers, has spoken to you, in a land flowing with milk and honey. Shema, O Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Hear, O Yisrael, Yahweh, our mighty one, Yahweh is one. And you shall love Yahweh, your mighty one, with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and shall bind them like a sign on your hand, and they shall be like frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. And it shall be, when Yahweh, your mighty one, brings you into the land of which he swore to your patriarchs, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Yaakov, to give you great and good cities which you did not build, and houses filled with all kinds of goods which you did not fill, and wells dug which you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant, and you shall eat and be satisfied. Be on guard, lest you forget Yahweh, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, from the house of bondage. Fear Yahweh, your mighty one, and serve him, and swear by his name. Do not go after other mighty ones, the mighty ones of the peoples who are all around you. For Yahweh, your Elohim, is a jealous El in your midst, lest the displeasure of Yahweh, your mighty one, burn against you. Then he shall destroy you from the face of the earth. Do not try Yahweh, your Elohim, as you tried him in Massah. Diligently guard the commands of Yahweh, your mighty one, and his witnesses, and his laws, which he has commanded you. And you shall do what is right and good in the eyes of Yahweh, that it might be well with you. And you shall go in and possess the good land of which Yahweh swore to your patriarchs, to drive out all your enemies from before you, as Yahweh has spoken. When your son asks you in time to come, saying, well, what is the meaning of the witnesses and the laws and the right rulings, which Yahweh our mighty one has commanded you? Then you shall say to your son, we were slaves of Pharaoh in Mitzrayim, Egypt, and Yahweh brought us out of Mitzrayim with a strong hand. And Yahweh sent signs and wonders, great and grievous, upon Mitzrayim, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his household, before our eyes. And he brought us out from there to bring us in, to give us the land of which he swore to our patriarchs. And Yahweh commanded us to do all these laws, to fear Yahweh, our mighty one, for our good always, to keep us alive as it is today. And it is righteousness for us when we guard to do all this command before Yahweh, our mighty one, as he has commanded us. Chapter 7. When Yahweh, your mighty one, brings you into the land which you go to possess, he shall also clear away many nations before you, the Hittite, and the Girgashi, and the Amori, and the Canaani, and the Perizzite, and the Hiwi, and the Yebusi, 7 nations greater and stronger than you. And when Yahweh your mighty one gives them over to you, you shall strike them and put them under the ban completely. Make no covenant with them and show them no grace. And do not intermarry with them. You do not give your daughter to his son, and you do not take his daughter for your son. For he turns your sons away from following me, to serve other mighty ones. Then the displeasure of Yahweh shall burn against you, and promptly destroy you. But this is what you do to them: break down their sacrifice places, and smash their pillars, and cut down their easters, and burn their carved images with fire. For you are a set-apart people to Yahweh, your mighty one. Yahweh, your mighty one, has chosen you to be a people for himself, a treasured possession above all the peoples on the face of the earth. Yahweh did not set his love on you, nor choose you because you were more numerous than any other people, for you were the least of all peoples. But because of Yahweh loving you, and because of him guarding the oath which he swore to your patriarchs, Yahweh has brought you out with a strong hand, and ransomed you from the house of bondage, from the house of Pharaoh, ruler of Mitzrayim. And you shall know that Yahweh, your mighty one, he is Elohim, the trustworthy El, guarding covenant and loving commitment for 1,000 generations with those who love him and those who guard his commands, but repaying those who hate him to their face to destroy them. He does not delay with him who hates him. He repays him to his face. And you shall guard the command and the laws and the right rulings which I command you today, to do them. And it shall be, because you hear these right rulings, and shall guard and do them, that Yahweh your mighty one shall guard with you the covenant and the loving commitment which he swore to your patriarchs, and shall love you, and bless you, and increase you, and shall bless the fruit of your womb, and the fruit of your land, your grain, and your new wine, and your oil, the increase of your cattle, and the offspring of your flock, in the land of which he swore to your patriarchs to give you. Blessed are you above all peoples. There is not going to be a barren man or a barren woman among you, or among your livestock. And Yahweh shall turn away from you all sickness, and put on you none of the evil diseases of Mitzrayim, Egypt, which you have known. But he shall put them on all those who hate you. And you shall consume all the peoples whom Yahweh your Elohim is delivering over to you. Your eye shall not pardon them, and you do not serve their mighty ones, for that is a snare to you. When you say in your heart, these nations are greater than I am unable to drive them out, do not be afraid of them. Remember well what Yahweh your mighty one did to Pharaoh and to all Mitzrayim, the great trials which your eyes saw, and the signs and wonders, the strong hand and the outstretched arm by which Yahweh your mighty one brought you out. Yahweh your mighty one does so to all the peoples of whom you are afraid. And Yahweh your mighty one also sends the hornet among them, until those who are left, who hide themselves from you, are destroyed. Do not be afraid of them, for Yahweh your mighty one, the great and awesome El, is in your midst. And Yahweh your mighty one shall drive out those nations before you, little by little. You are not allowed to destroy them all at once, lest the animals of the field become too numerous for you. But Yahweh your mighty one shall deliver them over to you, and destroy them with a great destruction until they are consumed. And he shall give their rulers into your hand, and you shall destroy their name from under the skies. No one is going to be able to stand against you until you have destroyed them. The carved images of their mighty ones you are to burn with fire. You do not covet the silver or gold that is in them, nor take it for yourselves, lest you be snared by it. For it is an abomination to Yahweh your mighty one. And do not bring an abomination into your house, lest you be accursed like it. Utterly loathe it, and utterly hate it, for it is accursed. Chapter 8. Guard to do every command which I command you today, that you might live, and shall increase, and go in, and shall possess the land of which Yahweh swore to your patriarchs. And you shall remember that Yahweh, your mighty one, led you all the way these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble you, prove you, to know what is in your heart, whether you guard his commands or not. And he humbled you, and let you suffer hunger, and fed you with manna which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, to make you know that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of Yahweh. Your clothing did not wear out on you, nor did your foot swell these 40 years. Thus you shall know in your heart that as a man disciplines his son, so Yahweh, your mighty one, disciplines you. Therefore, you shall guard the commands of Yahweh, your mighty one, to walk in his ways, and to fear him. For Yahweh, your mighty one, is bringing you into a good land, a land of streams of water, of fountains and springs, that flow out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley, of vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive oil and honey, a land in which you eat bread without scarcity, in which you do not lack at all, a land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills you dig copper. And you shall eat and be satisfied, and shall bless Yahweh your mighty one for the good land which he has given you. Be on guard, lest you forget Yahweh your mighty one by not guarding his commands and his right rulings and his laws, which I command you today, lest you eat and be satisfied, and build lovely houses, and to dwell in them, and your herds and your flocks increase, and your silver and your gold are increase, and all that you have is increase, and that your heart becomes lifted up, and you forget Yahweh your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, from the house of bondage, who led you through that great and awesome wilderness, fiery serpents and scorpions and thirst, where there was no water, who brought water for you out of the flinty rock, who fed you in the wilderness with manna, which your fathers did not know, in order to humble you and to try you, and to do you good in the end. You then shall say in your heart, my power and the strength of my hand have made for me this well. But you shall remember Yahweh your mighty one, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth, in order to establish his covenant, which he swore to your patriarchs, as it is today. And it shall be, if you by any means forget Yahweh your mighty one, and follow other mighty ones, and serve them, and bow yourself to them, I have warned you this day that you shall certainly perish. Like the nations which Yahweh is destroying before you, so you are to perish, because you did not obey the voice of Yahweh, your mighty one. Chapter 9. Shema, O Yisrael. Hear, O Yisrael, you are passing over the Jordan today, to go in to dispossess nations greater and stronger than yourself, cities great and walled up to the skies, a people great and tall, the descendants of the Anakim, whom you know, and of whom you heard it said, who does stand before the descendants of Anak? And you shall know today that Yahweh, your mighty one, is he who is passing over before you as a consuming fire. He does destroy them and subdue them before you. So you shall dispossess them and destroy them quickly, as Yahweh has said to you. Do not think in your heart, after Yahweh your mighty one has driven them out before you, saying, because of my righteousness Yahweh has brought me in to possess the land. But it is because of the wrong of these nations that Yahweh is driving them out from before you. It is not because of your righteousness or the uprightness of your heart that you go in to possess their land, but because of the wrong of these nations that Yahweh, your mighty one, drives them out from before you, in order to establish the word which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Yaakov. And you shall know that Yahweh, your mighty one, is giving you this good land to possess, and you shall know that Yahweh, your mighty one, is not giving you this good land to possess because of your righteousness. For you are a stiff-necked people. Remember, do not forget how you provoked to anger Yahweh, your mighty one, in the wilderness. From the day that you came out of the land of Mitzrayim until you came to this place, you have been rebellious against Yahweh. Even in Horeb you made Yahweh angry, so that Yahweh was enraged with you to destroy you. When I went up into the mountain to receive the tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant which Yahweh made with you, then I stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. I did not eat bread, nor did I drink water. Then Yahweh gave me the 2 tablets of stone written with the finger of Elohim, and on them were all the words which Yahweh had spoken to you on the mountain from the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. And it came to be at the end of 40 days and 40 nights that Yahweh gave me the 2 tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant. Then Yahweh said to me, Arise, go down quickly from here, for your people whom you brought out of Mitzrayim have acted corruptly. They have quickly turned aside from the way which I commanded them. They have made themselves a molded image. And Yahweh spoke to me, saying, I have seen this people, and look, they are a stiff-necked people. Leave me alone so that I destroy them and blot out their name from under the skies, and make you a nation stronger and greater than they. So I turned and came down from the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire, and the 2 tablets of the covenant were in my 2 hands. And I looked and saw that you had sinned against Yahweh your mighty one, and had made for yourselves a molded calf. You had quickly turned aside from the way which Yahweh had commanded you. And I took the 2 tablets and threw them out of my 2 hands and broke them before your eyes. And I fell down before Yahweh, as at the first. 40 days and 40 nights I did not eat bread, and I did not drink water, because of all your sins which you committed in doing evil in the eyes of Yahweh to provoke him. For I was afraid of the displeasure and rage with which Yahweh was angry with you to destroy you. But Yahweh listened to me that time once more, and Yahweh was very enraged with Aaron to destroy him. So I prayed for Aaron at that time also. And I took your sin, the calf which you had made, and burned it with fire, and crushed it, and ground it very small, until it was as fine as dust. And I threw its dust into the stream that came down from the mountain. And at Taberah, and at Massah, and at Kibrot Hata'awah, you made Yahweh angry. And when Yahweh sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, Go up and possess the land which I have given you, then you rebelled against the mouth of Yahweh your mighty one, and you neither trusted him nor listened to his voice. You have been rebellious against Yahweh from the day that I knew you. So I fell down before Yahweh the 40 days and 40 nights, for I fell down because Yahweh had said he would destroy you. And I prayed to Yahweh and said, O Adon Yahweh, do not destroy your people and your inheritance, whom you have ransomed in your greatness, whom you have brought out of Mitzrayim with a strong hand. Remember your servants, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Do not look on the stubbornness of this people, or on their wrong, or on their sin, lest the land from which you brought us should say, Oh, because Yahweh was not able to bring them to the land which he promised them, And because he hated them, he has brought them out to kill them in the wilderness. And they are your people and your inheritance, whom you brought out by your great power and by your outstretched arm. Chapter 10. At that time, Yahweh said to me, hew for yourself 2 tablets of stone like the first, and come up to me on the mountain, and you shall make yourself an ark of wood. Then I write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke, and you shall put them in the ark. So I made an ark of acacia wood, hewed 2 tablets of stone like the first, and went up the mountain with the 2 tablets in my hand. And he wrote on the tablets, according to the first writing, the 10 words, which Yahweh had spoken to you in the mountain, from the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. Then Yahweh gave them to me. And I turned and came down from the mountain, and put the tablets in the ark which I had made. And they are there, as Yahweh commanded me. Now the children of Israel set out from the wells of Bnei Yaakan to Mosera. Aharon died there, and he was buried there. And Eleazar and his son became priest in his place. From there they set out to Gudgoda, and from Gudgoda to Yotbatah, a land of rivers of water. At that time Yahweh separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, to stand before Yahweh, to serve him, and to bless in his name to this day. Therefore Levi has no portion nor inheritance with his brothers. Yahweh is his inheritance, as Yahweh your mighty one promised him. And I stayed in the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights, and Yahweh heard me at that time also, and Yahweh chose not to destroy you. And Yahweh said to me, arise, go before the people, to set out, and let them go in and possess the land which I swore to their patriarchs to give them. And now, Yisrael, what is Yahweh your mighty one asking of you? But to fear, respect Yahweh your mighty one, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul, to guard the commands of Yahweh and his laws which I command you today for your good. Look, the skies and the sky of skies belong to Yahweh your mighty one, also the earth with all that is in it. Yahweh delighted only in your patriarchs to love them, and he chose their seed after them, you above all peoples, as it is today. And you shall circumcise the foreskin of your heart, and you shall circumcise the foreskin of your heart, and harden your neck no more. For Yahweh your mighty one is Elohim of Elohim, and Adon of Adonim, the great El, mighty and awesome, who shows no partiality nor takes a bribe. He executes right ruling for the fatherless and the widow, and loves the stranger, giving him food and a garment. And you shall love the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Mitzrayim. Fear Yahweh your mighty one, serve him, and cling to him, and swear by his name. He is your praise, and he is your Elohim, who has done for you these great and awesome deeds which your eyes have seen. Your patriarchs went down to Mitzrayim with 70 beings, and now Yahweh your mighty one has made you as numerous as the stars of the universe. The word of Elohim.
Shabbat Shalom. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu, melech haolam le'olamei olamim. Blessed be Yahweh, King of the universe, now and forever. Amen. We found this. Someone found this on the floor. Looks like looked like an infant's. Hadassah. Hadassah, what are you doing? Teresa Akehurst. We have your name tag here. Youth night practice, 11:10 today with Brother Chad at Pavilion 8, which is down this way. Children's activity this afternoon at 3:30 at Pavilion 8 as well, ages 5 and up. Yeah, be there or be square. Okay. Hallelujah, brother. That's going to conclude the Torah reading. What we're going to have next is story time with Papo. This is for all the children. According to our brother EliYah, he has something very special he's going to be doing today with the children. After the story time, he's going to be praying over the children, for the children. So, meeting is at 1:30 here at the amphitheater. Yes. Men's meeting tonight, 7 o'clock. Right here at the amphitheater. So that's all I have. Enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. All the children who want to stick around for a story time with Papo can come up front. Yeah. You got a shofar, blow it. Hallelujah.
I can only reach to here. So
That might be, oh, there we go. He just
And maybe a touch higher.
He just fixed it for me.
Just move it down too much.
Hey, she's- It's fine. I can yell on it. Should we do the command first, you think? Pablo, you want to say start? It's story time with Pablo. Hallelujah. We got a few little quick little songs for you. And this first one we did yesterday, it's called the 10 Commandments. So sing along.
Who can count to 10? Raise your hand if you can count to 10. Okay.
Yeah.
You will learn how to count. Which looks like most of us.
All right.
And I'll be changing my shirt.
One. Oh, I'm in the wrong key. I knew something was off. Here we go. Can you hear me? Or can you hear the guitar at all? You can? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 commandments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 commandments. You'll discover how to love Yah. You'll discover how to love each other. How to love Yah. You'll discover how to love Yah. To do what? If you guard the 10 Commandments. Here we go, 1 through 5. Yah first, no idols, don't misuse Yahweh's name. Keep the Sabbath and honor your parents. Yes, sir, yes, ma'am. No murder, no adultery. Don't steal and do not lie. Don't covet your neighbor. Here we count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 commandments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 commandments. You'll discover how to love Yah, love each other. You'll discover how to love each other. We certainly need that. You'll discover how to love Yah if you guard the 10 Commandments. All right, 1 through 5, here we go. Yah first, no idols, don't misuse Yahweh's name. Keep the Sabbath and honor your parents. Yes, sir, yes, ma'am. No murder, no adultery. Don't steal and do not lie. Don't covet your neighbor. All right, let's do 1 through 10 again. Yah first, no idols, don't misuse Yahweh's name. Keep the Sabbath and honor your parents. No murder, no adultery. Don't steal and do not lie. Don't covet your neighbor. All right, we're going to count it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 commandments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 commandments. All right.
This is a very good song. It's good for children and adults. It's called Obedience. And also, just so you know, we're real people. We're up here. I've got a wet shirt that my daughter wet on, and I'm watching my youngest son Zimri eating apple chips and dropping them on the floor. And then he picked up a few from the floor and put them back in the bag. I'm hoping he ate those.
Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. Doing exactly what Yahweh commands and doing it happily. Action is the key, do it immediately. Joy you will receive. 'Cause obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. Let's spell it O-B-E-D-I-E-N-C-E. That's right. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. We want to live pure and we want to live clean. We want to do our very best, sweetly submitting to authority, leaving Yahweh to the rest. Walking in the light, keep our attitudes right on the narrow way. For if you believe the words you receive, you always will obey. Let's spell it O-B-E-D-I-E-N-C-E. That's right. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. Let's spell it O-B-E-D-I-E-N-C-E. That's right. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. Hallelujah.
Awesome. Now, hopefully by the end, you guys will know the songs, and then you can sing and we'll listen.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
Testing, testing. Whoa, we got us a mic today. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Surely you're up by now, aren't you? It's 10 minutes after 11. Or 11:10, as we used to say. Let's try that one more time. No, let's try it this time in Hebrew. Boker Tov. Wow, come on, guys. Listen, last night, I was sitting out by my RV, and I heard all kinds of children with noise. Now, can't you muster that up this morning for me? Let's try it again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Boker Tov! Hallelujah. That's good. That's good. Listen, I have another story for you today. And then afterwards, we're going to pray. Now, I'm going to talk about the weeping prophet. Does anybody know who that is? The weeping prophet? Where's Jeremiah? Because Jeremiah lamented for Israel. You see, when Jeremiah was born, his father was a priest. And Israel wasn't headed the right way, doing things they shouldn't be doing and breaking the commands and worshiping false Elohims. And it wasn't good. But you know, Yahweh knows us before what? Our mother's womb. He knows everything about you, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. But he gives us the option to make decisions. Now, some of those decisions are really good, and some of those decisions aren't so good. I know. I've been on both sides. But I do my best. So I'm going to read a little story here about Jeremiah and what happened to him. Okay, are you ready to go? All right, here we go. The words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, one of the priests who reside in Anthon in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of Yahweh came in the days of Josiah, excuse me, the son of Ammon, king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. Now I need to tell you that when Yahweh spoke the first time to Jeremiah, he was only about 8 years old, 8 or 9 years old, maybe 10. Doesn't really say for sure. But he wasn't very old. He was but a child. Now, How many children in here are 5 or above? Raise your hands. How many are 5 or below? Raise your hand. Okay, so this is for all of you. Okay, because we really don't know how old Jeremiah was. Could have been less than 5. Could have been older than 5. So pay attention. This is really important stuff. Isn't that right, Samuel? All right. Then the word of Yahweh was to me, saying, this is what Yahweh spoke to Jeremiah. I knew you when? Before I formed you in the belly, and before you came out of the womb, I sanctified you. I appointed. Sorry. I have appointed you to a prophet to the nations. And I said, but Yahweh, behold, I do not know how to speak, for I am but a boy. But Yahweh said to me, do not say I am a boy, for you shall go to all that I send you to, and whatever I command you, you shall speak. Do not be afraid of their faces, for I am with you to deliver you, says Yahweh. Then Yahweh put out his hand and touched his mouth. And Yahweh said to me, behold, I have put my words in your mouth. Behold, I have today appointed you as a prophet over the nations and over all the kingdoms, to root out and to tear down and to destroy and to throw down all, build, and to plant. And the word of Yahweh was with me, saying, Jeremiah, what do you see? And I said, see, I see an almond rod shaken. Then Yahweh said to me, you have seen well, for I will watch over my word, and I will perform it. And the word of Yahweh came to me a second time, saying, what do you see? And I said, I see a boiling pot, and its face is from the face of the north. And Yahweh said to me, out of the north evil will be set loose on all those living in the land. This is important. He said, for behold, I will call all the families of the kingdoms of the north, declares Yahweh, and they shall come, and they will give to each his throne at the entrance of the gate at Jerusalem, and against its walls and all around against the city of Judah. And I will speak my judgments against them regarding all their evils, those that have forsaken me, and have burned incense to other Elohims, and have worshipped the works of their hands. You must gird up your loins and rise up and speak to them all that I command you. Do not be terrified before the faces, that I will not prostrate you before them. For behold, today I have made you a fortified city, an iron pillar, and a bronze walls against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against her princes, against her priests, and the people of the land. And they shall fight against you, but they shall not overcome you. For I am with you to deliver you, declares Yahweh. He's just a boy. Can you imagine if Yahweh spoke that to you? How would you feel if Yahweh spoke that to you? He's a little boy, and Yahweh's telling him everything he's going to do. A lot of responsibility. But you see, Yahweh knew him before his mother's womb, and he knew the kind of person that he was. He knew the kind of man that Jeremiah was going to be. So, understand that in this world today, we see this going on all around us. I mean, think of all the stuff that's happening in this country and in other countries with all the bad things. I'm sure you hear your moms and dads talk about them at times. Things that are not things from Yahweh. But Yahweh has words against all that. He said that he told you, I will protect you no matter what happens, no matter what they do to you, no matter what they say to you, I will protect you. You will be protected. It reminds me of a time when Yeshua was kind of messing around with the children that came up around him, and he was talking to them, and the disciples tried to get him away. Go, 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 go. This is Yeshua. Go, go. And he said, whoa, hold the boat. He probably didn't say hold the boat. That's Neil's rendition of, sometimes I get into that with the scriptures. But this is how I see it. He'd say, hold the boat, guys. You let those children come unto me. And they're probably all thinking, oh boy, what do we do now? And he said, suffer not the little children, but bring them unto me. Because if you don't come to me as one of them, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoa, you know what that means? We're all children of Yahweh. So this is for all of you today, okay? All of you. Now, here's what I want to do today. Jeremiah was but a young lad when Yahweh spoke to him. And during the evening last night when I was praying, I felt Yahweh spoke to me. And he wanted me to gather all you wonderful children. And we're going to anoint you with oil. Our brother Shaul is here somewhere. Oh, there he is, right over there. And he's going to anoint each one of you. And then I'm going to have you guys very politely stick out your tongue. Politely. Not like I'm your brother or your sister. Politely. And then I'm going to pray over each and every one of you to receive Yahweh's word. Just like Jeremiah. So, any of you children that would like to experience that, I want you to come up here in front. Come right up here. Don't be afraid. I do not bite. Okay, just line up here. Get a row here. Get in a row. On the forehead, yes, sir. Everybody stand up here and let Brother Shaul anoint your forehead right behind you. Okay, and then we're going to pray. So be patient. You know, I have a lot of trouble. That's why I don't like that song Sadie sings all the time about obedience and be patient. Boy, sometimes I'm not. Okay, stand back in a line, children. Stand in a line. That's a good point. It's the second time I've been reminded of that. You see, Yahweh asked Jeremiah to put his tongue out. And he touched his tongue and told him. That only his word would come forth from his mouth. This is so important to me. Because all your moms and dads are raising you in Torah the way you're supposed to be. That's exactly right. Some of us were not raised that way. And it's been tough on us. But you guys are learning, just like Jeremiah did. Then who did we talk about yesterday? Just like Samuel did. All young children when Yahweh spoke to them. So what we'll do is when we do that, I want you guys to be very respectful, and then I will pray. You never know what I'm going to do. You always have to be on your toes. That's right. Mouth. Cross their mouth. All right. I've just been corrected, as happens quite often. Being the Hebrew scholar that I'm not and my brother is, keeps asking me to come to Hebrew class, but it's hard for me to get up in the morning, guys. It's the mouth. He touched his mouth. So Yahweh will touch each and every one of your mouths today as we pray. So has everybody got anointed on their forehead? All the children? Has she been anointed? Okay. Okay, guys, are you ready? Now, we're going to do just what happened to Jeremiah. And I'm going to read it again, and then I'll say a word of prayer. So all stand real still. All keep your lips closed. Okay? I'm sorry. I thought the tongue was a great idea, but just keep your lips closed and listen to what Yahweh spoke to Jeremiah. And then I'm going to pray the same thing over you. He said, and Jeremiah said, just like you would say, okay, but Yahweh, behold, I do not know how to speak, for I am but a boy, or I am but a child. But Yahweh said to me, do not say that. Do not say that you are just a boy, for you shall go to all that I send you to. And whatever I command you to, in other words, whatever he asked you to, you will speak. Do not be afraid of their faces, for I'm with you to deliver you. He's going to take care of you, okay? Says Yahweh. And Yahweh put his hand out and touched his mouth. And Yahweh said to me, behold, I have put my words in your mouth. So, Father, I thank you for all these precious children. I thank you that you have raised them in your word. I thank you that you have even delivered them to us today. So, Father, we confirm your word. And I would ask that, Father, with signs and wonders that will follow for these children. Father, as you touch each one of their mouths today, that they may speak your word and deliver your message to whomever they're in front of, that you will guide them and direct them in all that I do, that they will become strong, young warriors for you. Bless their mothers and their fathers. Have them continue to teach them. Keep your ears open to the words that Yahweh has for you, for he will be speaking to you. Now, I would expect some of you to hear from Yahweh between now and the end of the feast so you can tell us about it. Okay, now keep your heart open and your ears open for the word that Yahweh will give you. Because I want to hear those things. Whether it be just a prayer, whether it just, whatever it may be, I want to hear those things. Because he loves children. If he wants us all to come to him as a little child, he loves children. And he loves each and every one of you as much as the next guy. Nobody here stands taller than the next person. Okay? 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 Okay, now, I want you to turn around, and I want you to look at your parents, or whoever brought you, and I want you, now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have you wave to them and say, Yahweh bless you. On the count of 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. Yahweh bless you. Hallelujah. Thank you, children. Well, that's all right. You can do that. Yeah, for those of you who don't have your parents here, you can do that to them when you go back to the tent. So, children, thank you so much for coming. Yahweh bless each and every one of you. And come back tomorrow. We got another great story out of the scriptures. Okay? Shabbat shalom, everybody. Touch my beard, sure.